Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we continue our director spotlight for Martin Scorsese with another one of his gangster classics, Casino. It was released on November 22nd, 1995. It was co-written by Martin Scorsese and 𝗦𝗰𝘼𝗍𝘀𝗲𝘀, based on his book, the same author of 𝗦𝗫𝐿𝑎𝑐, and the book it is based off of, and directed by Martin Scorsese. I am 𝗾𝗼𝑰𝐴. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And another new one under the belt, I assume.
Mm-hmm. First viewing.
I did. This is a similar thing to After Hours for me and King of Comedy. All of these I watched for the first time earlier this year, and I watched a second time for this project. And I like Casino, man. This is one of my favorite Scorsese. How are you feeling about it on the other side?
Well, as far as the movies we've covered so far on this spotlight, I feel like it beats out King of Comedy. I still think I'm taking After Hours, though. That one's just unique and really cool. I wasn't expecting. I really liked After Hours.
I like that.
And then, but I think the closest comparison is Goodfellas here. I mean,
oh, of course. Yes.
And I think I'd take Casino over Goodfellas, actually.
No kidding.
Casino, I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth. Casino kind of doesn't really feel like there's much of like a plot. It's just you're kind of watching these events just kind of happen. It's just one thing kind of leads on to the next. There's no real, I don't know. I guess like one singular story that's happening. There's kind of just a lot of things that are going on. I guess this is based on some true events. So, but I guess more dramatized at some points. But
yeah, it's pretty spot on though.
Yeah, crazy to think that these people existed.
Yeah, no, it's a real story. Yeah,
and this stuff actually went down. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on Goodfellas and Casino, though. I think I'd have to give Goodfellas a rewatch because I think as of right now I might be on the Casino side. But I don't know. I think it doesn't feel like Scorsese. I don't know why. This is like the least Scorsese feeling of them to me. And it just, I don't know. I guess I like
of
the
gangster movies.
I guess it is a very classic. Maybe I just don't like gangster movies all that much. Like I do like them. Like it's this weird, like secondhand sort of like, I know I'm never going to be involved in this life whatsoever, and I know like I'm never even going to get close to it. But it's like just putting yourself there for a movie, you know, just to see what it's like to be a criminal. It's such a weird feeling, but it feels like it's like the secondhand criminal.
Yeah,
ish.
No, I get that. He does a good job at capturing that. You know, I personally don't hold this as high as Goodfellas for me, but when it comes to my Scorsese ranking, my Letterboxd list, I've watched 15 Scorsese films. 2 is Goodfellas, 3 is Casino after my second watch.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I haven't seen The Irishman. Is that also kind of like a gangster? Is that
very much so?
Gangster.
Much
okay,
so.
Yeah.
But that one's. I think another rewatch for me might shoot that up my fucking list. I've watched it twice when it first came out, and then earlier this year, and when we watch it again, I'm fairly certain that'll be one of my favorites. I love The Irishman, but
Yeah,
I love Casino. I think that it takes everything that he kind of built up in Goodfellas and takes it a step further with the grandeur of it. You know, like it's Goodfellas almost feels small time compared.
Yeah.
It does feel small time compared to
Mhm.
Casino. Casino feels like it's such a much bigger operation and a much more impactful operation on an entire city, Las Vegas. We know Vegas. We know exactly.
Mhm.
We don't know exactly how it works per se as laymen, but to see how it was run at some point by the mob, by the mafia, is
Man.
fascinating.
So, whenever the dude just pulls up in the counting room, takes his stack, puts it in the suitcase, walks out, is that like, because they kind of like, I don't know, I really like that scene. It might be my favorite one when they're kind of breaking down the whole operation, and it's kind of like just going through like how easy it is to walk in this room, fill a suitcase full of cash, and leave the casino, and like that's it. But like it kind of seemed that like the casino didn't know that this was happening, or that they knew it was happening, but they were looking the other way on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, that dude
involved.
who was going in there and getting the bag was like the casino manager. Like he ran
okay,
the
so it's
casino.
very known that they're doing this. Okay,
yeah, but it's like
that's what
you
it
know,
seems
but you
like.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
you don't
okay.
you don't know that.
Okay.
You don't act like you know that. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just happening. You know, if a few bucks get lost, you know, who's to say? Because they're all getting paid off the top. That's a great part of this movie when Joe Pesci starts taking over the narration. And he's like, I mean, the skimmers are obviously skimming. It's just a part of the work. You know that if these guys are getting paid to hide something, they're going to take something off the top for themselves on top of that. It's just how the business works.
Yeah. Just how these things work.
And that's me,
you know?
Nicky Santoro. I love Joe Pesci. His voice in this and like his voice at large is fucking hilarious, I think. And
absolute menace this dude is. Oh my god.
I'm Nicky Santoro. You know, he's got that high
Goodfellas, you know. Tell me exactly how I'm funny. You know, that awkward kind of, you know,
funny like a clown?
You just don't fuck with that.
I'm a clown, I'm here to amuse you?
I think Nicky Santoro though.
He's a little more methodical, you know?
Oh
like this
God.
man's
put
plotting.
Your head in a vice. He will dude, that was rough. That was oh my god, I've never thought about that before.
You make me pop your fucking eye out for that fucking guy? What are you? What's your fucking problem?
Dang this dude. Like, oh my god. I've never had that fear in my life at all. And now I have to think of my head getting crushed in a vice and how bad, what that would even feel like, you know? Oh my god. That would suck.
No, that would not be good.
This dude's a villain. Like a straight up villain. Yeah. You don't, what, the dude coming up to him at the bar or whatever, like he's just at a bar, and what does that dude even, he gets a pen and he just kills the dude. I mean, just absolutely shanks the dude over and over.
That guy shit you were talking about to my friend. Tell my friend to go fuck himself.
Oh, that's right. He literally just told De Niro to like fuck himself.
Yeah, and completely out of pocket. I don't know that it warranted murder, but he was definitely in the wrong. Until Nicky Santoro murders him, and it's like, okay, well now there's a new guy in the wrong.
Damn, that guy. Yeah, Joe Pesci plays that like
loose cannon.
You just have no idea what the dude's gonna do next, and I'm afraid of him at all times in the movie. I'm afraid for everyone.
I love the way that they kind of portray that through Sam Rothstein, Robert De Niro, that when they go meet in the desert. And he's like, I usually gave myself a 99% chance of coming back from a meeting in the desert with Nicky. This time, it was 50-50.
50-50.
You know?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. That's sketchy. Meeting out in the middle of nowhere.
Ooh.
And like they talk about like, you know, everyone knows about the holes in the desert or whatever.
Yeah.
And like how many bodies are under here. And that scene was really good. Like, I don't know, that's the thing. It's like, there's just like I was trying to think of like what my favorite scene of the movie is, and there's just so many different little really cool parts of the movie that like that desert scene is really stylized too.
Very much so.
Like it's I don't know. It's very like Western.
My favorite
kind of
shot comes from
standoff.
that scene. It's when Nicky is speeding up the road to meet him, and you see it reflected in his glasses as he's pulling up. Like, that shit is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this one does have a very unique visual sense compared to a lot of Scorsese. There's a lot of stuff that's like hyper stylized, like when the dice is getting rolled and it like zooms in on it and it's like slow motion. Like, that shit's really cool. And there's a lot of examples like that. There's a shot when Sharon Stone is looking at jewelry and it's like rotating in front of her face, and it kind of keeps shifting focus between her and the necklace she's holding, and it's just it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous stuff.
This, I think I really like the look of this. Like, and I think, I don't know, you're in a casino for most of it as well, and at like Sam's house, which is very flashy, and all of their the costumes as well. The costume design went hard. Oh my god, yeah. This, I don't know. I was reading a little bit of trivia. Apparently, like De Niro had like over 80 or something different outfits. And then
Sam Rothstein had a fucking style. Yeah, he had a fashion sense.
Apparently, they gotta keep them all or something. Let's see.
Oh, that's pimp.
Yeah. The budget for the film was $1 million, just the costume budget. Robert De Niro had 70 different costumes, and Sharon Stone had 40, and both were allowed to keep their costumes afterwards.
God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, Rothstein had some fucking suits, man.
Dude, the colorful, I love the suits. Just like in After Hours as well, kind of pulling up and got, not on as much in After Hours. Or maybe I'm thinking about King of Comedy, actually. Yeah, no, King of Comedy. Yes. Pulling up in some colorful suits, but no, this the wardrobe's gotta go to Sam Ace. Here, I don't know. They call him Ace. I feel like a couple.
Food and beverage.
I don't know you refer to him as Sam or Ace.
I mean, either or. I mean, they're both
Sam.
him.
Yeah. I feel like I like
whatever feels right in the moment. I love the character of Sam Rothstein. I think that. Of every, like, thinking of Scorsese protagonists, or main characters, rather, thinking to Henry Hill in Goodfellas, Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, even Rupert Pupkin and Paul Hackett. This is easily the most likable protagonist he's ever had, and he's still a little bit of a piece of shit.
Yes,
I'm like,
he is a piece of shit, but then you have Nicky Santoro on the other side. So it's like, like, Sam is more of just like, he's smart. He's very methodical and very like, he gets his shit done. That's why
he's caring. He does care about the people in his life, and
that's true.
Whereas where you see Jordan Belfort like hit his wife and take his child. This guy, he does everything he can to prevent that sort of situation and unabashedly loves his child. Like, it's
might not be the best husband necessary, to his wife, but like he's not like a piece of shit. Like he does actually love her. Like, and he's like, no, like I really do love. Like if I don't know, that scene was really really good. Whenever they were sitting down and he was like, I want to marry you. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm really serious about you. And she was like, oh, I don't, like, what? Hold on. That's not who I am, like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, I'm okay with that. I can be okay with that. He kind of like, he's very collected.
That can grow as long as it's built on a mutual respect.
Dude's so transactional. He's like, he's thinking of the returns for everything. And I guess, like, in a casino, like, that's, the money will come. That's, like, if you have the tables, you have the slots, you have whatever, the money's going to come. The only thing you need to have is security, make sure people don't rob you, and then making sure people aren't robbing you from under the table. Like, that's literally all. You're robbing the population of their money, opening a casino. So you just got to make sure that you're not robbed yourself.
Right.
And that's how you maximize profits. I don't know, like, casinos are just an insane thing to me. Like, it's insane that there is a city in the United States that this is, like, just all the business. This is like everything in a city, and this
Year
is what
round.
the city is known for.
It's not like a part of the year they happen to make a ton of money. No, year round they're raking it the fuck in. You know,
like I mean, everyone knows. Like the lottery is kind of like a scam. Like everyone knows. You're not going to win the lottery, but like yeah, I'll buy a ticket here just for the chance. You know, it's great, but you know it's a scam. Like full like you know like yeah, I'm burning my money basically.
right.
Casinos, it like toes the line because people like to go out to a casino and have a good time, and like so that's how some people like justify it, being like, yeah, I'm going out with my friends,
you know,
having a good time and everything, and it's
if you have self-control, a casino is a perfectly fun place to hang out. You know,
that's true. Yes, but I don't know. They're a danger. The amount of tricks they have to like keep you there. No windows, no clocks, no like you have no idea what time of day it is. They'll give you free drinks. They'll give you a bunch of stuff. You know, you eventually lose enough money, they'll give you a free hotel room for the night. They'll give you a freaking car eventually. They'll give you a freaking nice restaurant meal. You know, like it's crazy what casinos do. Like it's insane. They are just printing money. And that's, I mean, that is what they were doing. That's how the mob was like, shit, man, we earn in other places, but man, this is pretty nice. We just walk in a room and literally take the money every now and then. Like this is as easy as it could get.
And if you don't have Nicky Santoro down there to fuck it up, there's probably no way this ever stopped. You know, like Nicky Santoro just made too much fucking noise.
Yeah. Well, you needed a Nicky. You needed someone to lay down the law and to put the fear, and you needed that person at the beginning to like to let people know not to fuck with you. But then I don't know. Did it just get too
funny? It's whenever he started going like, well, I'm not just going to skim off the top. I'm going to start my own family, basically.
True. Yeah.
And I'm going to run shit, and I'm going to take shit. Like it's. Then you can't overlook that.
Yeah. What did he say? Like, people always give, but they never give or like give to who is actually doing the work or something like that. I don't know what the verbiage was, but no. For performance, I think I was between De Niro and Pesci for my performance, and then I'm like De Niro. Honestly, like, didn't really have to do a whole lot, like performance-wise. He kind of just kept the same kind of attitude the whole time.
He's got a pretty level head in this movie, for sure.
And so I liked Joe Pesci's performance way more. Whenever I put it on that level, I'm like, oh, it's kind of clear to me that like Joe Pesci kind of outperformed. And then I'm like, man, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe it's between Joe Pesci and Sharon Stone for the performance.
I have no doubt mine Sharon Stone. Like she's on another fucking planet in this movie, man. You talk about the fucking Masha figure from the King of Comedy, you know, and you kind of translate it here to a much more complicated person who's been through a lot more and has a lot more facets to her personality. She's a fascinating character, and Sharon Stone, I think, performs it as good as any. Like, I think that this might be Scorsese's best written woman character. You know, Karen Hill is pretty good by Lorraine Bracco, and they all have fascinating aspects about them, like Masha and like Karen and like Ginger here. But Sharon really elevates the material. Sharon Stone, she is fucking good in this.
It has this can't get rid of a past relationship. You know, I don't know what that dude's name was.
It was Lester Diamond. And
is that it? Yeah, Lester.
Far from a, past relationship is certainly one way to put it.
Was he? Or what?
He was her pimp when she was 14.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I forgot about that then.
she's been groomed, and she's
Oh,
she's a big time victim of a
I
lot of
forgot.
terrible stuff.
I did not remember that. Okay, maybe. Oh man. Oh, when does she say that?
It's just
Is
kind
it
of
a
implied.
conversation? Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of points because he's like, they say that Lester Diamond is a pimp. Lester says something about how he's known her since she was a young girl.
Oh, shoot.
She has this loyalty to him. She can't get away from him. No matter how good she has it in every other aspect of her life, she needs to get the approval of Lester Diamond. And that's because Lester Diamond groomed her. Like, that's 100% what happened.
Okay, this makes way more sense. Because I'm like, I was thinking that this was like, it's just like a relationship she couldn't, like, I'm like, why do you keep coming back? And I go,
This is a Ginger is a victim in this relationship to she already seemed like it, but like even more than you could possibly comprehend. Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming back, and like she did feel this like obligation, and I'm like, I don't like, there has to be something deeper going on there. Okay. I just didn't know if that was like explicitly said, and I just kind of
I mean, it's, again, we're dealing with a 3-hour movie that moves at a pretty incessant pace. So like, it is hard to keep up with at points, and that would be one of the things that could fly under the radar. Because the first time I watched this, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, Ginger, get your shit together. And then like the second time I watched this, I'm like, fuck, man, she was never gonna get her shit together. Like, this poor fucking woman.
I'm definitely gonna be watching it differently the next time. Like, I'm gonna be watching it through a different lens, and definitely
because that's her. Like, that is the reason her character is the way she is because she was groomed from a young age by a pimp who treated her like his lady, but also sold her body to be used. And like, so it's just, and that even actually comes like,
day,
I went with Sharon Stone for my performance, but my line comes from Sam whenever he confronts them at the diner, whenever she's like, I need this amount of money, and she goes and takes it straight to Lester Diamond, and then he has him like beat up in the parking lot and stuff, like that whole part. Whenever he says, be a man, don't be a fucking pimp, like that's a hard ass line, like, cause I love the idea, cause something that the mafia movies are notoriously terrible about is the treatment of women, and that's what makes Ace Rothstein such a fascinating character in comparison to a lot of protagonists, is that he genuinely cares about this woman, and there's a loyalty to her that he refuses to break, whereas in every other mob movie, it's like the protagonist is fucking around, like they are every other like they have their wife and they have their girlfriend, girlfriends came Thursday nights, wives came Friday nights, that sort of thing. So, and his trying to use the mob almost as an avenue to be his own man, like he's connected, but he's not in the mob, so he feels like he gives them the tips on his betting, he's never wrong, sort of thing. He knows that that'll get him by. He got himself a casino, back home I would be locked up for what I'm doing.
My line, dude, that was so sick. I don't know, I love those. Yeah, back home they would have put me in jail for what I'm doing. Here they're giving me awards, and then you see him just living lavish. Yeah, like, dude is as like, what a it is insane that is like, it's a city like that city exists, and like it is illegal everywhere else other than international waters, and that's why, or Native American reservation land. That is like a casino. It is either on a river or a Native American reservation land, because that's technically not American soil, so it's legal to gamble there. And it's like, what a concept! Like, it's just nuts. But yeah, no, this in the early days of Vegas, like in this, like this is, how could you? I don't know. This seems like the perfect operation. How could it get any better? Like for criminally, like what other like you don't even have to launder the money. You don't have to, like, it's just straight cash. in a suitcase. Like, I think that is probably my favorite scene. I don't know. I was trying to pick, and I really like when Joe Pesci's just breaking it down. He's like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
see these guys, they're working here. They don't see anything, you know. And it's like just another guy walking out of the casino with a suitcase, you know, or whatever. Like just kind of narrating the whole thing and going through. I did like that. I don't know.
There's a lot of good scenes in this movie, man. Like the one I was speaking to, where my line came from. Whenever he goes and confronts them, that's a fantastic scene where Sharon Stone gets to perform her ass off.
Oh man, oh she definitely.
Dude, she's fucking good.
Yeah, she's definitely the performance of the movie. That's for sure. I'm glad you gave her the nod.
Yeah, she's brilliant. But
damn.
I mean, like, there's a lot of options. I think that the way this movie culminates, the end.
That's a crazy end.
It's a wild ending, you know.
Don't mess with another man's wife. You know, the mob doesn't like that.
Mickey Santoro. That's a great ending. I love that. Ace Rothstein probably gets the happiest ending of any Scorsese protagonist ever.
Yeah, he goes back to betting. He knows he'll
move
be good
to San Diego and just keeps raking in money. You know, like that's all he does.
Damn. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
No, yeah, I'm
out
like
there.
The confrontation in the desert, like there's a lot of good.
That's
scenes.
A good one. The desert might be the actual other scene, and like how he like Nikki like kind of shows up late, like, you know, like De Niro's out there waiting, and it like that makes him more nervous. You know, he's like, oh, I don't know what to expect, and like Nikki's always been like Sam's like right hand man. You know, like like if anyone would say anything bad about Sam, that was like, that's fighting word, you know. Then it's Nikki's time to go fuck up.
It's time for me to murder you if you tell me.
Yeah, but now it's like, now you're seeing him walk like up quickly to Sam, like with anger, and you're like, oh, like the tables have turned here, you know, like he's feeling his power now, you know. He's like, I guess he feels like responsible, you know. He's the one actually doing all the dirty work and everything, and he wants to get his part, whatever, even though he's not living good enough. Love how they make him a caring father. You know, they're like, yeah, this dude murders people on a whim, absolutely, but God, does he love his son. He's there every breakfast.
Jr.
Yeah, he's there every breakfast, and I'm like, that's just hilarious. That's fucking amazing. That's just
great.
He always makes it home for breakfast.
Loves his brother. Loves his family, except, you know, he's the classic mob guy who despises his wife. And fucks around and fucks his friend's wife, and
at the end of that scene, whenever he's breaking it down, he just gets a blowjob in the car, you know, like it's like, all right, move over, darling.
This is what we're doing today. Yep, all right, go ahead. And the way he like pushes their head down every single time, he takes action, which is like, this pathetic fuck of a man, you know. Like, he even does it to Sharon Stone later whenever she's getting like vulnerable with him. He's like, yeah, it's all right, sweetie. And he just pushes her, and it's like, God damn, you disgusting fuck.
I went with him for performance, though. I think I will.
He's very good in it. There's no question.
Oh my God, does he? I'm just afraid. Like, I feel like if I saw Joe Pesci in real life, I'd be afraid. Like, I'm just like, does this dude actually have a little bit of this in him? You know, like feels like it's coming from somewhere. I don't know. Dude's just, maybe that's how he grew up. Grew up in the mob, and he was the muscle.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, going from Home Alone to this, you know, it's like
Home Alone and Goodfellas were actually in the same year.
What the hell? What?
Yeah, Homie had a good year.
Dude but what different? Like, always a criminal.
He's a fantastic, like, an underratedly fantastic actor. He, you know, him and De Niro are, you know, I think that a lot of people are always like, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, anytime they're in a movie together, it's fucking great. The better acting duo is Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. They have a chemistry that is fucking incredible. Raging Bull, Goodfellas, this, later on The Irishman, like, there are so many great roles. I mean, like, he did My Cousin Vinny, which is a comedy role in 1992, in between Goodfellas and Casino. Like, he just,
It says that
he
most
can
of the
perform, man.
conversations between De Niro and Pesci were just improvised. That
I believe it.
Scorsese would tell him where to start and where to end, but the rest was up to them. And like, that's a thing I really liked about this is that it did feel just very genuine. Like it felt like De Niro and Pesci, like everyone understood their character, like completely.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of the lines couldn't be scripted. You know, like a lot of lines were like whenever like some of them were kind of funny. Like Nikki was going up to somebody, and I think just collecting from someone, trying to get some money. And I don't know where they're at, but there's like this like glass window in a little hole, you know, just that little speed hole or whatever. And he's like, what if I shove your face through that fucking little hole in the window right there? And I'm just like, I don't know. What a funny threat, like, to throw at someone, but like scary at the same time, because like he might actually fucking do it. But like I wonder if that was like you know, he's just like, he was told that he had to, you know, scare the dude, or like I wonder if he just looked at the window and he goes, yeah, I'll shove your fucking face through that window right there. Yeah. So I don't know.
Whenever he's talking to the lawyer, when he's like that one where he like visits Sam, comes in through the side door, talks to his lawyer for a second, and he's like, yeah, you know, for instance, tomorrow morning I'll get up nice and early, take a walk down to the bank and walk in and see, and if you don't have my money for me, I'll crack your fucking head wide open in front of everybody in the bank. And just about the time that I'm coming out of jail, hopefully you'll be coming out of your coma, and guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Because I'm fucking stupid. God. And I don't give a fuck about jail. That's my business. That's what I do. I'm like, oh my God. What a fucking, like, this. And I love the way Sam, like, he leaves and he's like, what are you doing? This guy's a pussy. He's going to go to the FBI. What are you doing, man? Like, this is.
Yeah, he's like, dude, really? Come on. What a friend to have where that's just like a common, like dude, really? Come on. What the fuck, dude? Like any other normal person in that situation would have been like, oh my, I'm an accomplice. Like, I got to get the fuck at it. Like, I'm not involved with you. I didn't see or hear any of that. Dude's just like, come on, Nikki, dude. You can't talk to that guy like that. He's a narc. Dude, come on.
This guy could fuck up a cup of coffee. The Kansas City underboss.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't fuck with another man's wife, though. That's their rule. They're like, he's getting too much smoke. Whatever. We don't really care. We're still collecting. We're still earning. We're doing all this stuff. Hey, he's killing people left and right. No problem. We're the mob. We do. Oh, he's sleeping with his wife. It's over. Yeah, send the cavalry. Yeah. Get him out in a field. Fucking kill his brother right in front of his face. To brutally as well. Holy
They bury them alive.
I don't think the brother was alive.
No,
I think
he was dead.
Brother gone. But yeah, Nikki got buried alive. That's for sure. Oh my God. Apparently, Joe Pesci broke a rib whenever he was pushed into the grave.
Oh.
Apparently the same rib he broke during Raging Bull. I haven't seen Raging Bull, so I don't know when he would have broken a rib in there. But apparently he broke the same rib. Scorsese has a thing out for Joe Pesci's rib. I guess this one particular one.
That single rib.
Yeah.
No, man.
Got it out for him. But yeah, that's a brutal. That was brutal at the end. Like at the end there, that was just an insane way to kill someone.
I love the montage. Like the montage at the end of them tying up loose ends. The one where the dude like runs in through one door, a gun chases him, you hear the gunshots, and then he walks out of the door and he's got the squibs going off on his chest. Like that's fucking awesome.
Comes right up, shoots him right in the head afterwards. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
The one in the parking lot where he walks up to him and just caps his ass. Like it's just a classic mob movie. This is the end sort of thing, you know, and they get a lot more like there's a little bit of something that this has in common with Gangs of New York, actually, in the ending, where Ace Rothstein is talking about Vegas and how it'll never be what it once was, you know. Now it's like Disneyland, you know, like it's a whole other place. They won't even remember what we were like, you know, like that sort of thing. And it's a fascinating. I love the end of this movie. One of my favorite shots. It didn't get my favorite shot, but it's like the inside of the casino and the light that's like washing out everybody's silhouette, and they're all like, they all got like fanny packs and colorful shirts on, and they're just walking into the casino like, oh, it's a happy day, everything's fun and games. And he's like, they don't have any fucking idea, you know. Like that's it's just a brilliant fucking movie, man. Like I said, genuinely one of my favorite Scorsese movies of all time. It's I
don't know when my shot happened. Necessary. I think it's closer to the beginning. I think it's whenever he's like measuring the dice, making sure it's all regulation, throwing it back on the table, kind of walking, just kind of doing his round sort of thing. And then there's like, it's overhead, like straight down, and it's just him like walking through the floor, and it just goes for a little bit, like in a straight line.
Tables
like,
on either side of him and everything. Yeah, the craps tables.
I mean, casinos just are already visually captivating, like it's the point, like
the bright lights
of them.
and the colorful
like
floors and the
scene,
carpet on the floor is
and
always
even like
a
seeing the
fantastic
guys
design.
up above the ceiling, like that are with binoculars looking down. Like that was another, because I guess like
that sequence whenever they're at the table and like we meet Ginger and he's like, somebody's always watching somebody, and like you get these like pan whips like over to this guy's watching this guy and this guy's watching this guy, and like all the whipping of the camera and the editing is brilliant in this movie. Also, 𝗦𝗰cie 𝗿𝘀𝗲𝗏 is fucking brilliant in the editor spot, and close collaborator with Scorsese. She makes his movies all the more enjoyable. But yeah, that's a brilliant little sequence. I think my favorite scene is them catching the cheaters. Whenever someone's sending the signal and De Niro like kneels down and he looks at the guy, and then he looks over this way and he's explaining how they deal with cheaters, and then they bash the dude's hand. He's like, you use your left hand at all? He's like, you use your left hand to send the signal? He's like, no, I'm righty. I'm a right-handed man. He's like, cool, okay. You know, he like snaps. He's like, "Do it!" And he like smashes.
You need to learn how to do it with your left hand. I think he says like, "You're going to need to learn how to do it with your left." I'm like, "Oh, dude! Oh my god!" Like, being
the
taken.
Guy's trying to cash
room.
out. He's like, "Come on! No, we got to talk to you real quick. Congrats, you did a good job here."
I'm trying to think. There was another movie. I think it might have. It's like, oh my gosh, what's it called? I don't know the name of it, but it's like a teacher that counts cards, and he takes one of his students to go count with him in Vegas, and they have like an operation making money. I think it's like either 20, it might just be called 21. But they have a scene where one guy gets kind of caught, brought into the back room of a casino, and is like, "Hey, we know what you're doing. You know, we know it's you're doing it on your own accord, and it's, you know, whatever, but that can't happen here. You know, like." You can't use your brain in a casino, which I think is hilarious. Like, that's all. Counting cards is literally just thinking very hard about blackjack. Like, it's strategy turned up to 11, like more than the average person just ever wants to even think about blackjack.
It is funny that it's illegal, because it's literally literally just paying attention.
You can't cheat, asshole, but at the same time, the casino, every game you play, the odds are in their favor already. No matter what game you play. And so it's like, they're telling you not to cheat, but they are literally cheating you the whole time. But I don't know, I love when someone gets taken in the back room of a casino, you know, and I've only been to like probably a casino twice in my life, and I'm like, I don't know how to count cards. I think I looked at like one YouTube video at one point in my life, and I'm like, I bet I could probably do that. And I'm like I'm playing blackjack in a casino, and I'm like just seeing if I could like keep up with a game and like count, and I'm like, this is fucking so hard. And I like gave up pretty quickly.
Like it's an incredible skill, you know, and to do it in a way that isn't so obvious is.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, I'm like, is a camera like, is someone watching me? Do they know I'm trying to count right now? You know, someone who's inexperienced, like, I don't know, but because apparently now it's like all camera systems that catch up. Like, it's like AI can like tell if someone is counting or like cheating within like seconds, and like it's the facial like casinos, like the security that casinos have is almost like military grade, like fucking level.
I'm going to a casino for the first time to participate this week.
You've never been, or you've been?
I've been to a casino. I've never gambled.
Ooh, it's a good feel. Like if you don't do it a lot, it's so good.
I have a grave degree of self-control and not enough money to bet a lot.
I'm up in my life on the casinos. I've put in $20.
There you go.
And I think like on that night, I more than doubled my money on blackjack. And then I don't know, I went back one time and I think I literally like, it's not real money. Like you put your money into you give it to the cashier or whatever, and then all the money you have is just like most of it is a slip, like you'll play like at a machine, and then your winnings it's printed out on like this little paper slip, and then you take that slip to either an ATM or the cashier, and that's how you cash out.
Gotcha.
And I was just there. I think it was like one of my friends' birthdays, and I'm just there, and someone left like a slip of like $20 just on the floor. And I'm like, I mean, that's just free money on the floor. You know, I'm like, I'm not going to try to find whoever this is, because I'm going to go up to someone and be like, hey, is this your $20? And I'm like, yeah, that's mine. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, so whatever. So, so I take it, and I think I made a little bit more than $20. So I'm technically up on casinos, and I haven't been back since, and I think I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to gamble again, so that I can just always say that I'm up on the house, but it's only like $20, you know,
it's
total
not much
profit at all.
No, we're gonna go for a whole like we're gonna do as much as we can at the casino. We're gonna go to their spa. We're gonna do all that. We're gonna go gambling. We're gonna get a room for the night. All that. So like I'm prepared. You know, to throw a little cash at it. I've got I got a little budget set up in my head. Second I reach it, I'm walking the fuck away. You know, won't be drinking so that I don't go like, fuck it, I can do this, man. Keep it coming.
Let's throw it all on black. Let's fucking go.
Not doing any of that.
It's crazy how sound you can go in. Like,
that's the point of casinos, is that they do everything they possibly can to convince you to keep doing what you're doing.
It is captivating. It is insane.
It is. Like, well, and I'm already like the reason I haven't is because I'm a competitive person. It's more a personal challenge. It's not necessarily I want to beat these motherfuckers. It's I want to do better than I just did. You know. And if I have the ability to do better than I just did, I want to do better than I just did. And so that's why I'm like, I got to have a hard line, you know, and I've got a decent sense of self-control, especially when it comes to money. I don't have infinite money, you know, I don't have a lot of money.
Just expect, if you go in thinking that you're lighting this money on fire and it's gone anyways, and then if you come back with anything, it's like, oh, that's great. You know, I was
like, that is exactly how I'm going in. I'm going to lose $200 today. You know, like that is what I am doing. You know, I'm spending $200 for an experience that will likely piss me the fuck off. You know, like that's
the experience. I think the most I got out of a casino, I think I learned it is the best place in the world to people watch.
Oh yeah.
Just to sit back and just watch people. You can, in an instant, you can kind of tell the regulars versus the people who are in here for a fun night. Like, that you will look at someone that you know within seconds of looking at them that they spend their entire life almost in here at this table waiting for it. You know, like, I mean, it's crazy. The amount of old people you'll just see at slots, just looking at it, just fucking hitting the button over and over. No emotion, just whatever. They just keep going. It's an insane place to be in. I love just watching.
I mean, like, there's certainly an addiction aspect to it. You know, it's and I know that's no secret. Like, gambling addiction is a very, very real thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like, I could, I've got that in me. You know, I think if I lived next to a casino, the only reason that I don't go to casinos is because they're 40 minutes away. You know,
Yeah.
There's a distance between
closer,
me and the casino. Yeah,
yeesh,
I'd be fucked.
like,
I'd be
like,
fucked.
yeesh.
Because I mean, like, not only is it, I mean, it's got to be fun, especially if you're going with people that you're friends with and you're all having a good time.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool place to be. You know, you're at the casino. It's a fun,
Restaurants
like, it's
everywhere. Yeah, there's everything there. They have everything there that you could ever need. They have, like, it's crazy, like, the comps that they'll give people. Like, I have, I got some people that in the family that might not have the best pasts that could have some stuff that is kind of similar to this movie a little bit. And they're very friendly with the casinos. Like, it's insane how much the casinos give them, though. Like, their rooms are always free. And, like, they've gotten a car from the casino. Like, they've gotten entire, like, vacations paid for. They've gotten, and it is solely because the casino knows that they have given them more money. Like, like, they have gotten more money from them than they have given out in all these comps and stuff like that. And that's just, it's crazy to think, like, how much money people just give.
Oh yeah, no, I have an aunt who is she works in a casino. You know, she works for a restaurant that is up at the casino. So she spends a lot of time gambling, you know, and every few years it's like, "Oh, great. My aunt won $10,000 last night." That's amazing. She put way more than $10,000 into it over the course of those years, though. You know, like, that's and so, like, but that's the thing, is that if that's what you're gonna do, you cannot think about it like that. You know, like, you cannot, if you are going to commit yourself to being like, I'm gonna have a good time at the casino, you cannot go, well, like, well, shit, I might have just won $15,000, but I have put 25 into this. You know, like, over the course of years.
Yeah. It's scary. I don't know. I'm always up in on both. Like, I go back and forth on casinos. Like, on one hand, I'm like, maybe they shouldn't be a thing, because it kind of is like preying on the poor a little bit. Like, it's like you can hit it big here. You don't have to have any special talents. You know, you just have to have a little bit of money. You can make it big, and your life can change. And that one opportunity is like enough to get anyone in there. And like, and people can throw their whole, like, money they need for, like, food and water and all this stuff away. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, it's their decision to go in there.
Yeah, then control yourself. You know, like, I understand that addiction is a very real thing, and that's absolutely a factor in this sort of thing. But I mean, it's not like it's fucking. It's not a literal drug, you know, that you have a dependency on, that if you stop going, you will get a headache and you will get sick. It's not that. You know, it is a mental addiction. Like, that is what it is. And it's scary, man, because those are, I'd argue, those are the most scary addictions, because it isn't physical. It is entirely you going like, this is what I do. You know, this is what I want. And, anybody can fall into that. That's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm above that. That's why I don't go to casinos, because I know for a fucking fact that I'm not above that. You know, like, that's something that I am certain would happen.
Yeah. Like, if I had, like, actual, like, adult money, like, my own, like, a few drinks, like, like, there's ATMs everywhere. I mean, like, every corner everywhere you go, there's access to your money. It's right there. Like, so easy. And so easy just to put, like, $100. Like, no one tests you. Like, if you put $500 down on a blackjack hand, the dealer's going to be like, all right, it's just my job. Like, I'll go. Like, they don't know anything about you. It's like, that could be everything you have. They're just going to be like, all right, it's just another hand of blackjack. It's just an insane concept.
No, yeah. So, watching this movie is kind of a cautionary tale for me going into the casino this week, you know, being a little more weary, you know.
Cool lineup, though. Like, I don't know, it's lining up where you're about to actually go for the first time and do it. Yeah, good movie to watch before. It definitely,
you know, just be a little cautious is all. You know, don't give in to the instincts you might have when you go into a casino. Think it through, you know, just really, really think about what you're doing.
No, we don't have to really worry about any mob bosses or
I'm not
any
going in there with the
crazy
idea that
heroes.
maybe I'm gonna have a friend with a buzzer on his hip. That's not happening. I'm going in there and I'm lighting $200 on fire. That's what I'm doing. That's my plan for the evening.
No, it's all good. All good like that. It's more fun if you know all this stuff going in and you're just I'd recommend just kind of taking a moment, just step back and just look at people and just kind of watch things go on. You'll hear people scream. Like you'll hear oh God, like you'll hear people like actually win a jack, like, and it's nuts. Is it fake? I don't know. Maybe the casino just puts people in there that have fake reactions to make you think like, oh fuck, I gotta go.
Fuck, God damn it, shit.
It's wild to go and to be in there. And I don't know, they capture, like, I've never been to Vegas whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like casinos around here, like I might have expected more, maybe. I think, like, because of movies like this and like Vegas and everything, like the casinos we have here are nothing like Vegas. But they still do a pretty good job at making it feel grand and you're.
I feel like local casinos, if you're not in Vegas, casinos are mostly going to be like kind of depressing.
It kind of is.
You're kind of like, man.
Yeah.
The smell of stale cigarette smoke in the air, and you're just like,
oh yeah. Yeah, you can't escape that smell.
No,
smoking
that's
everywhere.
Something you are.
That's there. And that's I don't know, it was almost another shot I went with in the movie was it's kind of Sam at the front of the floor and he's just kind of looking at everything. He just lights a cigarette.
Dude. So fucking cool. When he's facing the floor and then he turns around and he lights it. Yeah, that's a very, very.
Why are cigarettes like so aesthetically
so
cool?
Fucking cool? I know it's not actually cool, and I do not smoke cigarettes, and I don't condone smoking cigarettes.
Why does it look so goddamn
cool? Dude,
it's
pimp. It's so pimp. Like something that I want to do so badly is go to the casino, get a fucking stogie, just get a full fucking cigar, clip that shit at the end, light it up, and just puff it. And that's the only time I'll ever smoke a cigar or cigarette. That's all. I want it to be there though. Everyone's doing it, I'm already getting it basically through the air. Might as well just go ahead and do it.
You're already fucked. I think you step foot in a casino, your life expectancy goes down a year. I think I think no matter what, for multiple reasons. You never know what's you just see all sorts of people in there. I don't know. I need to get to Vegas at some point and definitely check that out.
It's been Vegas is it's a big commitment. There's a lot going on over there,
I'm more in Vegas for like the Sphere now. That
full of I want to go to a concert there. That shit was cool. The U2 concert? That was wild.
My God. Why is it always U2? Fucking Apple giving us a free album on everyone's phone out of nowhere, and then
legendary group.
I mean they are pretty badass. But that's what I want to go. I'd want to go to Vegas more for like the shows and just all the nightlife. I don't know, just seeing.
Yeah, mostly just experiencing it, not really partaking in it, but just kind of being there and seeing what it's like, and the beauty. The beauty in this
chaos.
Fucked up industry. Yeah, it's
absolute chaos. Just never knowing where the night. Like if I'm going to Vegas, I have no plan. Like I'd rather there be no plan and just go wherever the fuck the night takes me.
Right.
Just being like, I want to see this magic show. Fuck it, in this pyramid or whatever.
Go see the Adele concert.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever's playing in the Sphere at the time now.
Yeah, who's got a residency down here in this place? No, yeah. I mean the Tangiers, man. What a casino here. I liked. I loved Robert De Niro as Sam Rothstein. He was definitely my favorite character of the movie. I thought that, like I've said. Compared to your typical mob movie protagonists, he is a much better person. He's obviously got his fucked up shit about him. He's not a great dude by any means. you know,
better than most though in these mob movies.
Yeah, better than most of the mob movies. There's no doubt about that.
To the safety deposit box, like
you trust your wife? He's
trust.
like, yeah, I do.
There has to be trust in this relationship, and then like I guess he handled the pimp situation. I guess like he needed to be put in his own place, that's for sure. But like he kind of ignored her like emotions for a little bit.
There's a delicacy to handle that situation that he just did. And that's the thing, is that he handles things the way that he's going to handle things, and that's not it's not always the best way to handle things, you know. I think that if there's a way to send him on his way, or even get Sharon out of there before they start beating the shit out of him, you know, if you want him to get if you want to get his shit rocked, get his shit rocked, you know, but maybe get her out of there first.
It didn't even say like, "Hey, come outside. Like, I want to show you something." Like,
he's like this. I want you to see, because I think he was trying to do a thing where if she cares about him, she'll stop meeting up with him, because if she does, he'll get his shit rocked. You know, like that's So it's massively manipulative, and he does a lot of he does a little bit of that, to be sure. But
man,
he's certainly not equipped. Like the thing that she says, we've only known each other a couple months. You do not know me. There's no possible way for you to know you can make this commitment. And she was absolutely right. If he'd have been patient and watched as things unfolded, this would not have happened. You know, like that's 100% the case.
Man, and Nicky Santoro being so scary that you know that your wife is sleeping with him, and you're like, all right, how do we resolve this situation? And it's like, well, you still got to sleep with him. Like, I don't know how to. Like, they both agreed that they were like, well, you can't stop sleeping with him. You got to just kind of keep playing it on, I guess. You know, like, I guess because she went over there and like that's when Nikki pushes her head down. But then like Sam is like narrating, and he's like, well, this is how she dealt with it, or whatever. Or like, this is how we dealt with the situation, or something like that, or this is how we suppressed his I don't know, something like that. Kept him
the part cool. Whenever he's like, and this is how she did it, and it cuts to him. It cuts to them like fucking.
Does he know? Does Sam know that that's still going on? Because like it's him narrating.
He suspects it's going on. I think that's an important, because he confronts her about it, and he's like, if it's who I think it is, it's really fucking bad. You know, like he's like, it could be very bad for the both of us if you are sleeping with the person I think you might be sleeping with. You know, because it's not necessarily because he knew what he was getting into. You know, she doesn't love him, and that's something that he never really expects from her. He wishes it would grow. He never expects the love, though. He knows that that's probably not going to come his way. So her seeking the attentions of other men, he kind of expects, but for it to be Nikki, it's like, oh, that's a problem. We're gonna have issues here.
Yeah, and maybe he's thinking of the mob issue as well. Like the mob's not gonna, if they find out, about that, like that's not good. And Nikki's also kind of going off the rails a little bit too. He's not like his old self necessarily. It's like, it's just bad on a lot of different levels. Very dangerous game. A very dangerous game they're playing.
Oh, absolutely.
Just I don't know. I like how they kind of had, or like with the real story, they like had to avoid, like, it's not his real name, and like the casino's name is different. Apparently they couldn't refer, like there's a lot of tiptoeing they had to do for like a lot of legality and stuff, like legal reasons. Which is interesting.
It's based on Joe Pesci's was based on 𝗏𝗏 𝘬𝗏. He was nicknamed the Ant, 𝗏𝗏 𝘬𝗏, and he apparently bore a natural resemblance to Joe Pesci.
I saw the picture. I was looking at the pictures, and I'm like, man, this is a good casting.
Pretty spot on.
This is pretty good. Yeah, he looks very, very much like him.
Apparently when Pesci entered the casino where the movie was being shot, some pit bosses who had actually dealt with 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝗀, quote, almost fainted.
Damn.
Because they thought he
they
was
were having
back.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
They were like, no. Yeah. They're like, this guy, he's in jail. He's dead.
He's one of like 3 people on the blacklist, and it involves fucking Al Capone, which is like
pretty hard.
That's gangster shit from the fucking 30s, 20s, bro. Like, that's how fucked up do you have to be on the same list as Al Capone? That's
Al Capone, Nicky Santoro, and they said there was one other person.
I think there was one other at the time, anyway. Yeah,
fucking Hitler. I don't know. Someone like just hey, man, it might as well could be like it. Yeah, this absolute villains. Yeah, Nicky was just unhinged, and I don't know. Dude. He was insane. I don't know. There's something about Joe Pesci just in roles like these, like that, where he's just muscle, and he does it so well. Like just the absolute loose cannon nature of him. Like you're just scared, even if he's like he could be talking about his grocery list. And then you're in the back of your head. You're like, all right, how's he gonna spin this into like a line to intimidate, or like to kill, or like to I don't know, do something like where's the joke? Are you gonna come in where you're talking about ripping your head off, or I don't know, something? It's always around the corner with him.
Yeah, he's a freaky motherfucker, man. Another one of my favorite parts of this movie is the gaming commission hearing for his license. Whenever he's like fully prepared, he's got a lawyer there. The hearing starts and it ends like immediately. They were like, it's denied, not going to work out. And he like starts confronting them. He's like, oh, what about this? Tell me, was I there? Was I there? Did we talk? Was I there? And he's like, you were there. And he's like, yeah, you're goddamn right, I was there. He's like, this is a fucking farce, like he becomes the personality. That is Ace, and he gets the show after that because he got denied his license, and he starts really going in a different direction than Nicky and the mob kind of had planned for him, That's a great little turning point in the movie, man. I love that.
Literally making like a public spectacle of himself now, like putting himself in the public eye on purpose now, instead of, I guess Nicky was the one who kind of needed to lay low. I guess Ace and I mean they were running the casino. Everyone knew of him, and like
the way the journalist twisted his words, he's like, I guess you could say when he's away, I'm the boss.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
And it just got reduced to I'm the boss, and he's like, that is not what I said. That is horse shit. Like that whole thing.
Call me in, like let him in. Call me in 7 minutes or whatever. To his
4 minutes. Yeah, he's like, call me in 4 minutes.
Only gave him 4 minutes. Damn.
And he had no pants on at the time. He puts them on and he sits down, and that whole, I mean, like that, the inciting event of that, where the dude was watching over slots, and 4 times in a row, a machine let out a jackpot. And he's like, you fucking idiot. Either you were in on it and you gotta go, or you were too fucking stupid to notice. So you have to go, I
mean, come on, dude. Hitting back to back to back. Come on. I mean,
come on.
Hitting back to back is nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, just because you're part of a family, the name only travels so far. Sam is a businessman,
and he had his principles. The gaming commissioner comes in. He's like, you got to hire him back, man. That's my brother-in-law. Find a position for him way down the ladder. And he's like, I cannot do that. I won't do that. Like he is a smite on the face of this casino. Like it's not good.
Damn. And even the guy was like, yeah, I admit he is kind of dumb. Like,
he is a fucking idiot. I will give you that.
But just hire him, will ya?
Yeah.
Sorry, can't do that.
Can't do it. Man.
What would people think? He's like, or like, what would, I don't know. He always had reasonings for everything. He's very methodical in his business. Love how he's just that dude with betting though. Like he needs to know everything about. He's like the Thrawn of sports betting. Dude studies the fucking. I don't know. He was like they even needed to know the type of wood that was being played on the basketball courts, or like that level of detail to like go into his betting.
The direction the wind would be blowing for field goals and football games, you know, like that whole shit. I loved that stuff, and one of my favorite. There's so many little details in this movie that I love for good and bad reasons. You know, like at the beginning when the car blows up, like that whole thing, how he survives it coming to fruition at the end. At the beginning, do you see the really obvious cut from a human to a dummy?
Yeah. It's like I'm like, oh my god, that is the clearest. Like, I mean, obviously they're not gonna blow up a dude.
No, they're not gonna blow up a human.
Obviously,
but it was hilarious how poorly done the cut is.
Like, I don't know. Honestly, like just pull back and just have it far enough away where like you can't really tell if it's a doll or like someone in the car. Right. I don't know. Like it was pretty clear. I don't know. But it was. I got it like a kind of a chuckle out of me at least, like an internal one. You know, I didn't like actually laugh because like I'm watching.
No, yeah, it always kills. And then I love the credit sequence where it's like the fire, you know, coming through and like a body flying through it and like all that stuff. Like it's a very, very cool sequence. Another one of my favorite details is the one other guy who plays a character in The Sopranos later on, Frank Vincent.
Yeah. Oh, he was just the like what was his role in this? Kind of like
he was just Nicky's he was just
like,
Nicky's right hand man, kind of. You know, he was just kind of rolled with him, and when it came to loyalty to Nicky or loyalty to the mob, he chose the mob, and I loved. He also was the one who got beat to death in Goodfellas by Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, the one who was in the trunk. And they went to bury him. That's also him. But the fact that he has like one scene of narration kind of kills me. I think that's hilarious. Like he takes over as the person who talks for a second.
Oh yeah, because he's being questioned by the mob if whether he knew Nicky was sleeping.
Yeah.
Or not. Yeah. Okay. And then he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what to say, but at this moment, I chose to lie." Yeah.
No, he's not doing that. But. To build on that, the narration stuff. When Nicky dies and he thinks he hasn't made, he's like, everything worked out. Everything was and then his narration cuts off as Frank Vincent hits him in the back with a bat. Like he's like,
wow.
Yeah, he's like, everything's cool. Everything worked out in the end. And then he gets, but before he can finish a word, he gets his shit rocked and the narration cuts out. And it's a brilliant little detail. I love that. I think that I wouldn't blame anybody for holding this above Goodfellas on a personal note. I think that
I just haven't seen it in a while. I think it's more recent. It's more flashy. You know, a lot more. It's like casino. I don't know. But I hold them very close. They're very similar. Like in similar regards to me, I'd say. I feel like I like his other movies more though.
The After Hours, the King of Comedies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I like I gotta just be in a mood to watch like a crime, mob kind of boss movie, like The Godfather. Like I know The Godfather's great, and it's like it's phenomenal. It's very well made, but like even on my top 100, dropped to like the 40s or something like that. And I think it's kind of like the same here. Like I recognize how well this movie's made and how well everyone plays their part and everything, but I don't cry in this, you know, like there's nothing,
right.
There's no real emotions. Maybe next time with Ginger, maybe there might be some points that could get a little emotional knowing about her now. But not, I don't know. I don't think they don't like make it a point to try to get you to have like an emotional moment or anything. And I don't know, After Hours was just very unique and very different, and I really liked it. I think that's my favorite so far. Out of
any of the Scorsese we've ever covered, Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street,
I like
Departed.
Like, I really do. And I think the only other movie that kind of gets there might be Shutter Island. More just like a mystery, I guess. Like, there's more to it. And I don't, like, it's not like I hold these so much, like, lower.
Oh, no.
Or anything.
Yeah.
I hate these movies compared to the rest of them. But I just, I don't know. I don't hold them on the same level.
They don't resonate with you in the way you'd anticipate. No, I completely get that.
This is better than King of Comedy. I think I'm pretty confident in saying that.
I think this is the best movie we've covered so far in the Scorsese Spotlight.
Yeah.
I personally think I like it more than the King of Comedy, and personally, again, I think I like it more than After Hours. But I do think there's something different about After Hours that kind of boosts it and that enjoyment factor. It's different for sure. But like when you're talking about these epic mob movies like The Godfather, I think I'd watch Casino before I'd watch The Godfather.
Ooh, this might be true. I think this is true.
Yeah, I think I would. I think there's an
really
electricity about it that feels a little bit more urgent. That feels a little bit more like it. I love The Godfather, but there's parts where it's a little bit of a slog. It takes it. You got to stick with it. You got to keep your head in it. This one, it's 3 hours. It kind of blitz. Like it's one of those 3 hour movies that just kind of blitzes right past you. Like it goes, man. And I think that's a big factor in why I enjoy it. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any favorites we've left out to this point?
I think that's it. Unless I've just haven't explicitly said that Ginger was my character. That's who I ended up going with. Even before I knew that about her past, I thought she was, as far as like a woman in these movies. Like I thought, like in The Sopranos, I think it's always like really interesting to see like or any mob movie or anything, like what they care about their family. They always say like it's all about family, and that's what it's all about. And seeing how it tears like a family apart, or like it's kind of doing the opposite in this.
It's the opposite. The mob wife is the one who's stirring shit up at home in this one, and she ties her kid to the bed.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like there's an obvious point into which like you want to feel bad for her, and like you do. But then there's points where you're like, okay, she needs some help.
You need help. Like, like it's not necessarily like, oh, you're evil. It's like you need to go seek help badly. And
I don't know. I thought it was a very an interesting take on what would usually just be a love interest of the a guy that just gets pushed to the side for another girl, anyways, or something like that. I thought she brought a whole lot to the story.
That's for sure.
I guess it being true. Like I don't know like how much of this is true. Like there's big events and stuff like the deaths. Like they know like he died, like he wasn't. Or like Tony got killed, and what did Ginger OD? Is that what was? Yeah, she just OD'd. Man, that was kind of sad. Yeah, just kind of walking out of the
hotel room and
like spent all like
she only had like $600 left or something like that.
Yeah, like and Sam was like, "Go ahead, take all your money. It's not you're not gonna last like anyways." And like
the part whenever like the whole like last act of this movie where she's down at the restaurant, he's at home, she goes down there, and she's like, "I want him dead. I want to kill him. Go ahead." And Nikki takes her out back and is like, "You fucking idiot. I've known the man 35 fucking years. I'm going to kill him for you." Like that whole thing, like fucking brilliant,
in the scene where even Sam overhears her on the phone and is like, "Oh, you want to kill me?" Really?
I will say, I think if you watch this a second time, because I was in the same spot. Like first time I watched this, I watched this months back. It could have been on my top 100 and it wasn't. It would 100% be on my top 100 now.
Oh yeah, it's on mine. That's for sure.
Yeah, like and after my first viewing, I had it I'd thrown it on there, but it was one that I hadn't seen in a couple months, and there was a first watch I'd watched more recently, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and cut Casino. But now that would absolutely not happen. Like, I liked this movie much more the second time around than I did the first. And this is
it's
one of Scorsese's best for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I gotta see Irishman. The Irishman is that his only other kind of gangster movie? I guess Gangs of New York is
technically, but like mafia.
Yeah.
I mean, The Departed deals a little bit with organized crime.
That's true.
Mean Streets deals a little, but they're not mob movies. It's just movies that the mob kind of has an effect on. Like it's not inherently a mob movie, like Goodfellas or like Casino or like The Irishman. Those are gangster movies. And like, it's crazy looking at his filmography, knowing that gangster movies are what people think of when they think of Scorsese. He has done so much more than
that's
that.
What I'm going to say. Yeah, like I don't know. I personally, either After Hours or Shutter Island is probably my favorite Scorsese movie. If I had to pick,
I've got those at 4 and 5.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't I haven't seen The Irishman yet. I've seen Shutter Island. I guess in the future I would have seen Gangs of New York. I did at the time of this recording. I do very much like that more than Casino. I will say that one was a very nice surprise. But I'd say this is probably number 3 right now.
Yeah, no, what's crazy is right now I've got it's at 3 for me as well. I've got Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas above it. But the ones we are covering, I've got it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the 15. Like they are all right there. I love Scorsese so much because you could be like, wow, that's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. That's at number 9 for his filmography. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
yeah.
He's just such a fantastic director, and I'd say he has. I mean, for me, he hasn't missed, but I could see how some people would say he has. I typically find a great deal of enjoyment in all his movies, and this is one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything left? Do we boogie on down to a rating here soon, or what's next?
Sorry about that. Hospital.
Oh, you're all good.
Doctors just called, but okay.
All good. Yeah, no, I was just. Are we ready for a rating, or do we think there's anything else that we need to touch on here?
I think we're there. This is kind of a movie. I don't know. I feel like we hit all the big points, but there are just like a lot of little scenes that are thrown in there too. Like not a huge. It's just you watch these events unfold, kind of as they happen.
Oh yeah, and it's. I think it's a brilliantly made movie, man. I think it is so exquisitely well done, and I think that has a great deal to do with my enjoyment of it. I think that this is one of those where it's just so well made that I end up loving it. Because there, like you said, doesn't make me cry. Doesn't make me particularly happy. It's just kind of like, I love watching a good movie, and this is a good fucking movie. Yeah, there's a lot to like. I'm trying to think if Kansas City gets a little bit of a bad rap in this movie,
Yeah,
as
a little
Kansas
bit.
Cityans.
Yeah.
I can see why the Kansas City Film Critics Circle didn't love it. They were like, man.
Nothing. No, speaking of this movie, we could fuck up a cup of coffee, apparently, according to Joe Pesci. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. One, enjoyment is where I'm sitting because of the Kansas City hate. No.
No, there's just, I think this is probably my favorite looking Scorsese movie. If I'm being like, I think that's the case, almost certainly. It was shot by Robert Richardson, who was a longtime collaborator of both Scorsese and Tarantino. Shot Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained and Kill Bill and Shutter Island and all sorts of shit. So he's very, very well established in the cinematography game, and I think that probably my favorite looking is Scorsese's. So that's saying something because he's got some good looking movies.
Yeah, so far as what we've covered, I think that's definitely true.
Oh yeah,
that's without a doubt as of so far, and I think I'm definitely for certain that I enjoyed this more than King of Comedy. After Hours, it's getting it. I think I might hold it on the same level, kind of as After Hours, enjoyment wise.
I would call this acceptable.
Okay.
Because
a 9
don't feel right for you.
I don't think I'm up at a 9 enjoyment wise. And I think it is what you were saying. It is just a good movie, and I know I'm watching a good movie while I watch it, and that's like a lot of the enjoyment. Just some great ass performances, visually very appealing. And stuff just goes crazy. Stuff that you can only get in a movie. And it's a very nice escape for 3 hours. But I feel like I think I am either at like 8.75 or maybe even 8.5.
I'm at an 8.75, maybe 9. So I think an 8.75 is a good place to split the difference there. I like it as well. And critically, I have no doubt this is the best Scorsese we've covered so far.
Yeah, and that would put it floor 9, which I think I agree with. I think I'm. Let's see what other.
I'm north of that.
9 was Lady Bird.
The Prestige.
Oppenheimer 9.5. Tenet is also a 9.
Yeah, I think I'm at floor 9.25. In fact,
and that is more Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Moonrise Kingdom, Asteroid City, Dunkirk.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go necessarily north of any of those either. I think 9.25 is about where I come down then.
Which would round it out to a 9.08 or a 9.1.
A 91%.
A little bit below Lady Bird, a little bit below Oppenheimer. Ties it with Tenet. A little bit below Dunkirk, below Asteroid, above The French Dispatch, around Fantastic. Okay, I can dig. I think that's slotting in there well. Definitely, without a doubt, a well-made movie. I don't think anyone will argue that much. Let's see. IMDb 8.2 on IMDb. That's pretty high.
Pretty strong. It's pretty strong on IMDb. 4.2 on Letterboxd. So.
No,
that's really high.
The good old tomato meter. They give it a 79% critically, but 93% the audience enjoys it. I think that makes a whole lot of sense.
I think that does make sense.
As an audience member, you just kind of sit back. You just kind of watch. You just sit back and watch.
Cool shit, man. It's just super enjoyable to watch. I love there's a little shot that we didn't even speak on. It's when Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro are in the car together, and Joe Pesci is talking about how he's thinking about moving down there. And, you get the view of them through the windshield where, like, the lights are going over the windshield. And,
Ooh,
there's a little there's like a mesh cut actually in there where it's from 2 different takes. If you watch Joe Pesci's face, it like morphs for like half a second and it goes straight into another take, which is really impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, no, you do not notice it unless you're looking for it. Like it's really good.
Huh. Yeah, I had no
incredibly well done movie, and I'm so happy we're pushing forth with Scorsese because it's been so much fun. But
Well, spoiler territory, but I think we step up next week. I think for me, I liked it.
We've got some different Scorsese tastes, man. It's fascinating. I like it. Don't get me wrong. We'll be Gangs of New York is we're not covering a single movie I don't like, I should say. But we ran into this with Wes as well. The ranking is always different for us, and I like that. But it'll be fun. I'm excited for Gangs of New York on Friday. That'll be a great deal of joy. We got Shutter Island next Wednesday, which is another really good one. And then The Irishman next Friday, and then Killers of the Flower Moon's coming out next Friday, man.
Trailers are getting plentiful. I'm seeing it watching the Chiefs game, and all that stuff, and my family was even ooh, okay, I know when my dad and my mom start to talk about a movie that it's okay, it's got to be pretty well known. This is, they don't usually talk about movies, but
right.
I guess seeing Leo, and De Niro in a movie that's probably enough for them to be like, oh, well,
it's pretty enticing, it's pretty enticing. The movies are feeling rather back at the moment.
Yes, they are. We're having quite a good year. Quite a good year. I guess maybe
so far,
not
so good.
A whole lot, maybe, but everything that we've gotten has been just very Barbie.
Yeah, the top of the tier is really strong. There's some good fucking movies that have been coming out, and I expect Killers of the Flower Moon to stand alongside those rather strongly, and I can't wait. But so we'll continue the Scorsese spotlight for the next couple weeks, and then we're also going to be doing our Game of Thrones rewatch on Mondays. We're getting close to the end of season 5 now, and that's been a lot of fun. The end of season 5 is a good one for those of you who have watched Game of Thrones. You know very well. But if you would,
coming, Hard Home.
That's next week.
Next. Oh shit! Yep. Oh yeah.
Hard Home. Yee.
It's time.
I'm ready. But if you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod for over 50 hours of exclusive content. For $3 a month, you can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow @PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and to continue to download. That is very, very helpful. Remember to stand in solidarity with SAG-AFTRA as their strike continues. Hopefully this is a little dated. Hopefully something's been resolved. I don't expect it will have been, though. You should be standing in solidarity with unions anyway, even when they're not striking. Currently they are, as of date of recording, and they deserve to be compensated fairly for their work. And they deserve to own their likeness. I think that's only fair. And
crazy concept.
Selling your likeness and it being debatable. No, not very debatable at all to me. You go ahead and hold on to your likeness as hard as you possibly can. I think that makes sense. Fuck the studios. Yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And listen to me very carefully. There are 3 ways of doing things around here. The right way, the wrong way, and the way that I do it.